What is up, everybody? Good evening and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Marvel Rivals. I do apologize for missing the upload yesterday. I was a little bit under the weather, so if my voice sounds a little bit differently today, that is why. But I figured, in honor of the new Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm skins, I figured we would do a Mr. Fantastic spectating today. As you can see, this guy goes absolutely crazy on Mr. Fantastic. This is going to be a little bit more of a one-sided game, so there's not going to be too much back and forth, but I wanted to get something up for you guys today since I missed it yesterday. So I will include the replay ID in the description below, so if you guys want to check this game out for yourself, anything that I missed, if you want to look at all that, that should be in the description below. And these, backgrounds are really, really sweet too. So those are in the shop right now. So let's switch over to his perspective and let's see what's going on. I have watched a couple of this guy's gameplays before, and I kind of just noticed that he uses his right click on singular targets. A lot of people definitely get hung up on trying to slam two targets together with that option, but he goes and kind of does that singular version of it. So let's see. Staying behind Doctor Strange here, coming up over on the left here, and then getting that singular knock up on the Doctor Strange. Getting a little bit of cleave damage on that auto attack there. You can drag your auto attacks a little bit, making sure that those hit multiple targets. Using his left shift when he drops low, making sure he's able to get healed up. And I think he's trying to drag auto attacks a little bit more and hit, like, I almost feel like he was trying to hit the back line and front line there, but I don't think you can drag them that far. Hulks out, gets very, very tanky, and runs kind of into the back line here, popping his left shift as he comes out of that to zone off the Sue Storm. She's already farmed ult, which is a little bit insane. So she does ult a little bit further back, but his team has already gotten 2 ticks on the point. They do lose 2, so they are going to be fighting a person down. Popping his shift to stay alive, and he is a little bit low, so I probably wouldn't commit ult here. And he does not commit ult too, he just kind of is content. They take their tick, and they're going to just reset, it looks like. Coming back at spawn now, just waiting for his full team to kind of roll up with him. And his team also does a good job of waiting for him too. I mean, I see a lot of people, especially even like in Diamond, Elo, stuff like that. I mean, people are just like so eager to get on there, get on point and stuff, that they kind of just ignore the fact that they're down a person. So pops a nice ult here, gets a lot of damage on a lot of members of the enemy team. The Sue Storm has actually ulted again, which is a little bit crazy. I think it might have been Loki the first time or something like that. Gets a nice singular knockup on the Loki here. Popping in here, hulking out, getting a little bit of damage on the Sue Storm. Not able to heal herself. Punisher gets a nice 3-piece, and his team is able to just get this first point. He zones off the healers super nicely there. Gets Loki to pop his lamps, so they don't have quite as much defense for the rest of his team. And I think that is something that Mr. Fantastic does quite a bit. He does a lot of healable damage, but as soon as someone blows a cooldown, when they really don't need to, it really opens the door for Punisher and Hela and stuff like that to get a little bit more value out of their abilities as well. So maybe that's kind of what this character is about. If you guys have any like insights as far as how you should play this character, I haven't played this character a whole lot myself, so I can't really speak to it. I'm kind of speaking what I'm seeing, but if there's a specific thing that you think this character is super good at, besides crowd control and space, I think he's got a couple good tools for both of those. Definitely let me know in the comments. I do read all your comments. I tried to respond to all of the new ones. It's just the way that it's kind of set up in YouTube. It's hard to see like replies to replies. So if I don't reply to those, I apologize. But if you new comment, I will see it. And he gets a nice ult in this little congested space here. Looks like Loki actually, or no, yeah, so Loki ults, Punisher on the enemy team ults, they are able to take him out. Sue Storm on the enemy team keeps them alive, which is that Loki ult coming in too. Eye of Agamotto is used by the enemy team, not able to get anything off of that. Sue Storm ult comes out, that's the second one, so Loki was the first, she's the second, using a lot of his damage to get in on this Loki, keep himself pretty safe. Hulks out, he's not going to be able to be killed by that Loki. Quickly takes out the lamp and just is an absolute nuisance to this guy. His Invisible Woman ult comes out, and he's able to get a couple good auto attacks there, cleaving 3 targets. He is taken out, but his team is able to get a lot of distance on that payload there. and the enemy team is going to be down a couple people, and they're zoned way back into this hallway, so they should be able to take this first point without too much difficulty. Waiting in spawn, knowing that the point is going to reach its destination, using G to swap his spawns. I've seen a lot of people that don't do this, so keep that in mind. If you are very confident that your team's about to cap it, just stay in spawn. You can press G, switch spawns, that sort of thing. Trying to still play kind of side by side with this Strange, it looks like, playing a little bit behind him as they were pushing up that hallway in the beginning. But Star-Lord ult does come out, so they're going to be a little bit kind of in bad shape, but not going to have a whole lot of defensive tools to deal with that as the Tealers are both taken out. But uses his shield to pop onto a backliner, keep them a little bit safer, using his shield to help the Doctor Strange stay a little bit more durable as they back away. I think they are probably going to get taken out, but he is hulking out. Unfortunately, just gets absolutely shredded even in that 800 health form. So, going to be spawning a little bit late, but his healers do come back. His Rocket Punisher, and they do actually switch from Hela to Widow here, getting an immediate pick on that Punisher just after that switch. So, ooh. I am so sorry. Last couple days have not been fun. I'm going to tell you right now. The Loki Sue Storm ult comes out from the enemy team, so we're just going to kind of soak that up. And he has already farmed back ultimate, so going to be looking to get a little bit of damage off of that. Popping this pretty much on cooldown. Seems like a lot of Mr. Fantastics just pop their ult on cooldown. Does a lot of damage if it's not really dealt with. And both of these healers lack a little bit of self-healing, so able to get a couple cleave hits on those auto attacks there. Loki does swap places with his clones, able to back up towards his team, get a little bit more healing. Sue Storm ults comes from his team. Try and gets behind this Doctor Strange, get him to turn around a little bit so his team can get a little bit of pressure behind. And again, playing kind of side by side with that Doctor Strange, maybe even a little bit ahead of him. He sees the Punisher ult and just going to try and stay out of sight, kind of bait him to turn around a little bit here. The Punisher is going to be able to take out one of his healers. They do trade back and take out the Squirrel Girl. Widow getting a beautiful pick on the Star-Lord and pretty much securing that win, I would imagine. Hulking out, taking out that lamp very, very easily. Forces Loki to ult. Invisible Woman and Loki are just getting absolutely pummeled by him with those auto attacks and the knock-up and disruption in the backline. So doing a very good job of that when he sees the chance. And he's just going to play a little bit of space here. Zone this Loki in spawn, make sure that he hulks out, uses his big kind of Hulk out form to keep them in spawn. So pretty dominant first round, honestly. I think he plays a lot of good space there, plays with the tank when he needs to, and then sees opportunities to pressure the healers in the back line, because a lot of healers in this game don't actually have a whole lot of good self-healing, especially, especially things like Invisible Woman and Loki. So without those lamps, I guess I should say. So we have the classic Overwatch strat going here. We got the Bastion on the side. Punisher able to farm up to 20-ish% ult. The other Punisher actually getting a lot more done there too. And the enemy team is farming ults very, very quickly here, so they're going to have to be a little bit careful on this first point. Getting a good amount of cleave damage on these auto attacks here. Just smacking away. Using his right click to get a little bit of disruption. Blocking with his left shift, using that and directing that towards the enemy team, trying to get a little bit of return damage. Thankfully, the Rocket is able to res the Punisher before dying, but the Punisher is quickly taken out again by this backliner. This Panther is going kind of crazy. Bucky's already farmed ult, so they're going to get absolutely steamrolled on this first point. And that is okay. I think they've already committed Portal as well, so I'm not going to be able to Portal back and save this first checkpoint. I think Doctor Strange used it a little bit offensively. Not sure if that was super worth. I don't know if you guys saw it at the beginning, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think offensive portals like that are necessarily great. I think they're only really useful when you can actually fully block the enemy spawn. Otherwise, you kind of just want to save it for, getting back to the point, contesting, getting that touch, that sort of thing. Quickly take out the Bucky here, so this is going to be a little bit of a switch of momentum. Pops his ult. Enemy team isn't going to use any big cooldowns or anything like that on it. They don't have any Luna ult to use, and I probably wouldn't use it on it either. But they are quickly taken out, so his team gets a little bit of good control back over the point here. Stepping up and pushing this back to about where it started. Still have a lot of time on the clock, but they do still have quite a bit of ways to go. Black Panther being an absolute nuisance back here. Sees that his Invisible Woman is struggling a little bit and tries to go back to support her, making sure that this Black Panther knows that he's not in a 1v1 situation. Getting a nice last hit on him there. Giving him the old 1-2. And I do plan on starting streaming soon, so hopefully I can do a little bit of Journey to Grandmaster, Journey to Celestial, something like that. I'm sitting right around Diamond 1. Haven't played a whole lot of rank this season, but hopefully we can get Grandmaster in, you know, the next couple sessions, something like that, and then look for Celestial on stream or something like that. So still working on getting that set up, but I appreciate you guys' patience if that was something that you were waiting for. I will also note in this video that those broadcasts will probably be a little bit less kid-friendly. I try not to like swear or anything like that in these, just because I think there's kind of no need to, but those might be a little bit less kid-friendly. So I'm happy to try and make them kid-friendly if there's, you know, a younger audience or parents or something like that, if this is something you want to watch with other people. But you know, by default, that's what's going to happen, I think. So just letting you guys know. Sue Storm ult comes out here, and we do trade rockets. Sue Storm for the Bucky. Luna is quickly taken out there by the Hela, who has switched back to Hela from that Black Widow. And they get a nice stagger on the enemy team here. Quickly taking out the Bucky. Going for this Loki again, trying to get some pressure on those healers. Seeing that Doctor Strange there on the bottom side, and then opting to chase the Loki up the ramp. Not able to actually get the KO on him, I don't think, unless I missed it. Just kind of bopping into this Doctor Strange shield. Getting behind him too, making him turn around. Just being an absolute nuisance in the background. Loki does ult there, and he does copy the Luna ult. I'm not sure if that was because of Mr. Fantastic ult, but I think if it was probably not worth it, because they do still have to contend with Punisher ult. Punisher ult does come out, but I think Loki ult should fade pretty soon, and it does, and the Luna does have to overlap her ult a little bit with his to make sure that they can stay alive. And then we do have Hela ult coming out. I think she did ult maybe a little bit too early, but they're still able to get a nice amount of follow-up damage. People being a little bit low after those two support ults fade. So I think part of that Mr. Fantastic kind of archetype is forcing cooldowns when they kind of don't really need. It's like almost a fake DPS cooldown, something like that. And as you saw, he actually just did half hit that person as they came out of spawn, so that was kind of crazy. This Hela getting another pick on that Bucky right as he spawns, so going to ruin that push a little bit for the enemy team. And I don't know why we're fighting over here. I don't know what we're doing. What is happening? I think he's trying to chase down that Hela, but I don't think that's worth their time. Portal comes out, and he's just going to bounce around, taking out this Luna without that self-healing. That ult definitely does enough damage to take someone out in their spawn if they aren't getting any help from others. And we're just going to bebop around. I don't know why I said bebop around, but Star-Lord from the enemy team does ult. Invisible Woman ult should be able to keep his team pretty healthy. He's just going to be content soaking this up with his kind of Hulk out form. Building up to this 100 meter on his screen. Staying very, very durable. And Luna kind of ults for no reason there. There's no major DPS cooldown, so I don't know what she's doing, really. They're just trying to get a little bit of distance, try and get onto the point, but he ends up getting Doctor Strange ulted here, so... But doesn't actually get focused or anything like that, so he's able to just pop his shift, stay on the point, and the enemy team does only have 10 seconds left in this round, so he's just going to sit here, kind of stall out, and he is a little bit low. He does have access to ult, but you can still die in Mr. Fantastic ult, so I think it was good that he didn't use that there. I think he is going to be looking for an opportunity to use it here now, though. Unless he is taken extremely low here. Does actually get into his tanky form, gets a little bit of cleave damage, and starts bouncing around trying to get a little bit of follow-up damage. Unfortunately, doesn't hit anyone with that third bounce, so he doesn't get another one. And his team is going to back up a little bit as Loki did commit ult there. Luna also committed ulted, and Doctor Strange as well. So his team just going to be content backing up. They know they have a ton of distance left to still make a play. So they're going to back up and wait for him to get back. It is going to take a little bit of time, but and a couple big DPS ults available for the other team. Hela using her ult kind of defensively there. Punisher already getting taken out. And Invisible Woman should be able to keep her team safe in the backline there. Able to actually kill the Hela there. I think that was probably the rocket infinite ammo, just Punisher blasting into him. And the enemy does actually step off the point, and they're able to get the victory with a score of 3-1 there. So, pretty dominant game, but I did see this guy playing Mr. Fantastic, and I thought it was really cool that, you know, he was able to play this in, like, you know, Eternity, One Above All. So, definitely, if you're looking at Mr. Fantastic, if you're thinking about playing that character, definitely take a look at this guy. He does get a well-deserved MVP there. It doesn't even look like he does anything crazy, but he gets a ton of important disruption there. Gets a couple solo kills on the healers, you know, forces tanks to look around, that sort of thing. So, keep that in mind. And as you can see, he keeps up with a lot of DPS, does more damage than the Hela, you know, keeps up in final hits. He does a lot of work. So, definitely a good character. So I will leave the replay ID again in the description below. Leave a comment what you guys want to see next, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.